Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Obviously, Mike had a little health scare. Should that fight still be on, honestly?
I mean, it's not for me, really, but, you know, I just hope everyone's safe, and he's 58 years old. Should tell you all you need to know seeing pictures like that, but, you know, wish everyone the best.
No, I don't, nah. Because Mike Tyson, he's older. I know everybody, you know, they want him to still be Mike Tyson in his prime and everything like that, but he's still older, and health is nothing to play with. So I think they should, you know, postpone it, or, you know, just don't even make it happen.
Do you think that Jake Paul fight should happen?
Not under those circumstances, absolutely not. If Mike is having any kind of health issues, he shouldn't be in a boxing ring.
I don't think it should happen, to be fair. I don't think it should happen at all, but I suppose if it makes money, it makes sense nowadays. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to turn down such a high payday. So, yeah, man, I can't complain.
Man, I think Mike Tyson is having some medical problems. I don't think that he should still do it. But if he does, hey, more power to them.
In a different way, right? Let's not imagine that Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. Let's imagine Mike Tyson is fighting some young, like really powerful knockout artist who's a contender.
Always was long dudes that had a good jab. Later in his career when he wasn't moving his head anymore. So I don't know if Jake can keep Mike off with his jab.
Joe Rogan has demanded to cancel the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Similarly, UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping firmly believes that the upcoming bout should be canceled following Tyson's recent health scare. On May 26th, while on a flight from Miami to Los Angeles, the 57-year-old experienced an ulcer flare-up, necessitating medical help after becoming nauseous and dizzy 30 minutes before landing. In response to the health issue and the altercation on his YouTube channel, Bisping said that the adage does not cover this buildup. There is no such thing as bad press. Bisping mentioned that Mike Tyson was involved in a medical emergency. That necessitated the rush of paramedics onto the plane. He added that doctors had to board the plane to assist in removing Tyson, remarking that it was not a good look and unfavorable press for someone trying to promote a fight at the age of 58.
Mike Tyson was involved in a medical emergency. Paramedics had to be rushed onto the plane. They asked for a doctor. It flashed up on people's screens. Is there a doctor on board? The doctors had to come on and take Mike Tyson off the plane. It is not a good look, and this is not good press when you're trying to promote a fight and you're 58 years old.
Jake Paul addressed rumors that the bout might be canceled following Tyson's health scare on social media by saying nothing has changed. Despite expressing respect for the combat sports legend, Bisping criticized the continuation of the fight due to the significant 30-year age difference, highlighting the glaring mismatch. Bisping expressed his respect for Tyson, noting that it took massive courage to go up against Jake Paul. He speculated that the incident might have been caused by an ulcer flare-up, though he admitted he didn't know much about ulcers. Bisping also pointed out that a man who is nearly 58 years old shouldn't have issues sitting on a plane for a few hours, implying that someone in the prime of their life wouldn't face such problems.
And I've got no problem with Mike Tyson. He's 58. I respect him. This is taking massive balls of him to go in there against Jake Paul, even though he's by far the better boxer. He's got way more experience, miles on the clock, long in the tooth, and he's got medical emergencies, and apparently he's got ulcers, okay? That's the excuse that they have given.
Moreover, Bisping emphasized that the circumstances presented a bad look for boxing and Jake Paul. He stated that this situation exemplified why a fight like this should not proceed. Bisping clarified that he wasn't criticizing Mike Tyson, but acknowledged Tyson's desire to test the waters, make some money, and feel alive by doing what he does best. However, he noted that Tyson's time had passed, using the metaphor that the ship had sailed and the plane had left the runway, albeit delayed because it was hot on the plane, which he speculated might have caused Tyson's ulcer flare-up.
This is just a great example of why a fight like this should not be going ahead. Mike Tyson is not the same person. We know there's video clips out there, and he's looking fast, and he's looking brutal, and he's looking deadly, and he's got the power. But it's easy to edit up a quick little TikTok video. You know, a few seconds looking good. You can see the cut shots. You see the interludes. Their editor is not as good as my guy, John Brannigan, okay? You can see the edits, okay? You can look good for a couple of seconds, but try doing that sustained over 8 2-minute rounds against a guy that's in his prime. I'm not talking shit about Mike Tyson. I'm talking shit about Jake Paul. Mike Tyson wants to test the waters, see if he's still got it. He wants to make some money. He wants to feel alive. He wants to get back in the ring, okay? And he wants to do what he does best, okay? But that time has passed. That ship has sailed. That plane has left the runway. But not for a while, because it was delayed and it was hot on the plane, and then Mike Tyson got an ulcer flare-up and had to leave on a bloody stretcher.
The bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul should be called off, according to Ricky Hatton. The hitman denied that the fight was boxing, calling it an absolute joke and maintaining that it was entertainment. In a candid and intense conversation with Lord Ping, the 45-year-old Hatton passionately called for intervention to prevent the two from clashing, emphasizing the need to protect Tyson's well-being and preserve the integrity of the sport. Hatton fumed, "I think it's a complete shambles, to be honest with you. Someone needs to have a word and try to stop it from happening. I've always said that the influencer fighting game is entertainment, and I've never really had an issue with influencer boxing. If people want to watch it, then that's fine. But let's call it what it is, entertainment." Hatton added that there was room for both traditional boxing and influencer boxing as long as the big fights continued to be made. He argued that YouTubers fighting wasn't harming the sport. Instead, boxing was hurting itself by not making the big fights happen. Hatton expressed no resentment towards anyone making money from these matches, wishing good luck to Tommy Fury, KSI, Jake Paul, and others. However, he described this particular fight as a complete fiasco and called for someone to intervene and take control of the situation, emphasizing that while money talks in the entertainment business, certain limits should be respected. The ex-fighter from Manchester asserted that Paul would be devastated if he seriously injured Tyson in their match, considering that the legendary baddest man on the planet was one of his idols growing up. Hatton said if he were to knock him out, he'd be knocking out one of his heroes. How could he live with that on his conscience? It doesn't matter how much money is involved. How would you be able to look at yourself in the mirror? I think it's completely crazy. It's a joke. Nothing surprises me in the boxing and entertainment business. Despite the outcry, Iron Mike remains resolute about proceeding with the bout. Paul, however, has taken to Instagram to address a taunt from the ex-heavyweight champ. Tyson made his declaration loud and clear, opting for the digital podium of Instagram, a realm he's frequented much like his ex-stomping ground. In his digital decree, he cemented his commitment to the impending clash with Paul on July 20th in Arlington, Texas. What stirred eyebrows was Tyson's nonchalant assertion that he wouldn't even require full throttle, hinting that he could secure victory even at less than optimal performance. With Paul's mere 10 bouts under his belt, Tyson's seasoned record of 58 fights casts a daunting shadow over the impending showdown. Paul has chosen to find some small measure of humor in the circumstances. The problem child reacted to Tyson's prodding in a way that could be considered more brutal than angry. With only 3 words in return, he gained the upper hand by stating, "Hey, that's mean." Joe Rogan has expressed serious concerns about Mike Tyson's safety, fearing that Jake Paul might inflict significant harm on the boxing legend. Rogan has notably highlighted the risk of Tyson potentially suffering fatal consequences in the highly anticipated match against Paul. The substantial age difference between Tyson, who will be 31 years older than Paul at the time of the fight, has already caused an uproar among boxing fans. Even before the bout was officially sanctioned, Rogan's apprehensions about a dire outcome were evident. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Joe Rogan pointed out that the fight's approval was still uncertain, citing potential protests that could result in its rejection. It's worth mentioning that this podcast was recorded a few weeks ago, and since then, the fight has received official sanctioning. Reflecting on the situation, Tyson emphasized the possible ramifications, warning that if he were to sustain severe injuries, or in a worst-case scenario, die during the bout, it would provoke major concerns.
Like, that's crazy.
If Tyson dies, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, if you have something like that, if you have, look, if
that'd
this,
be the end of the
right.
Yeah, that'd be the end of that experiment.
Let's imagine it in a different way, right? Let's not imagine that Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. Let's imagine Mike Tyson is fighting some young, like really powerful knockout artist who's a contender.
Despite Rogan's genuine concerns for Tyson's well-being, he hasn't ruled out the possibility of Iron Mike staging a comeback and potentially delivering a knockout to Paul. The UFC commentator speculated that if Tyson could regain even 70% of his former physical prowess, it would present a formidable challenge for Paul, especially given that Tyson's power, as evident from his bag work, appears as potent as ever.
Artist who's a contender. Well, guess what? Jake Paul could be that guy if we didn't think of him as Jake Paul. If you look at the people he knocks dead, when he knocked dead Tyron Woodley with one punch, that dude
I was there.
Fucking crack.
Yeah, I was. I mean, honestly, so like that's what I'm saying. Exactly what you're saying. We don't want to give him credit because it's Jake Paul.
Exactly.
But we gotta wake up and realize that he's still 27, young, and for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, he's had the best coaches working with him one-on-one.
Probably 90% of the power. 70% of the physical ability and 90% of the power, because the power's not gone. You see it when he hits a bag.
Yeah, he's still got the power.
The power's there 100%, but he's had a bunch of back issues. He had real bad
he was
sciatica.
having problems walking and
He's
stuff.
walking
I saw
with a
him with a cane, yeah.
So, but who knows what they've done?
Rogan highlighted Tyson's previous health challenges, particularly his severe sciatica, which had once forced him to rely on a cane. Despite these issues, Rogan recognized the transformative potential of treatments such as stem cell therapy, hinting that Tyson was probably receiving exceptional medical attention. Remarkably, even at the age of 57, Rogan observed that Tyson could still be highly profitable if he maintained good physical condition, a fact they found truly remarkable.
Stem cells, I'm sure he's with the right people. Like, even at 57, you can make a lot of money if Mike Tyson's fit and in shape, which is so crazy to say. It's just weird that we're even talking about it.
100%.
That the fucking guy from Disney is going to fight Mike Tyson, the YouTube kid.
Yeah, I know.
mean, and the path to beat Mike always was long dudes that had a good jab.
Despite the skepticism surrounding Mike Tyson, seasoned UFC commentator Joe Rogan points to a unique edge that could aid Tyson in clinching victory. What is this advantage? Rogan is alluding to hormone replacement therapy, HRT. Mike Tyson's engagement with HRT is well documented, and Rogan has previously discussed the benefits Tyson has reaped from this treatment. In a recent episode of the JRE MMA show, the 56-year-old Rogan explained to his guest, Max Holloway, that HRT could significantly benefit individuals in their 50s, setting it apart from other treatments. Joe Rogan highlighted a fascinating element of the Jake versus Mike fight, pointing out the current scenario with older athletes. He observed that today's older individuals benefit from hormone replacement therapy, which he called a game changer. Rogan suggested that Jake might be in for a shock from Mike come July 20th. This factor could be significant, especially since Jake recently disclosed that he now weighs 230 pounds in preparation for his bout with Mike Tyson.
He got really lit up in the legs, though, real bad. Masato was so good, too.
Yeah. What about
Butterbean
versus Genki Sudo?
Oh, yeah. Genki Sudo heel hooked him, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the importance of hormone replacement therapy for men is essential. The primary goal of HRT is to re-establish hormonal equilibrium within the body. This therapy focuses on rectifying testosterone deficiencies, improving bone density, and revitalizing the male body. Joe Rogan emphasizes that the modern approach to health for men in their 50s has evolved considerably compared to 30 years ago. He highlights that a contemporary 57-year-old, such as Mike Tyson, cannot be equated to a 57-year-old from 1994.
Heel hooked him, right?
Yeah. Genki Sudo was a stud.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was a good guy.
I had a
You
grapple
had it
match
at
a
Abu
little bit.
Dhabi, didn't you?
Max Holloway brought up the viral clips of Mike Tyson's training that have been making waves on social media. Both Holloway and Joe Rogan, after watching these clips, believe Tyson might have a shot at defeating Jake Paul. Holloway is particularly convinced that a knockout win for the 57-year-old Tyson is within reach. He asked Rogan if he had seen the footage of Tyson in action and suggested that Tyson could step into the ring and perform just like he did in those clips.
I open up and he goes for a leg lock.
Oh my God.
I got out of it, but it's fucking weird. But they all did the voice. Oh my God.
He was wild. He was wild.
He was a wild guy, man.
Joe Rogan seemed to nod in tentative concession, though his uncertainty lingered, regarding the considerable age delta between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Moreover, the UFC commentator admitted a lack of insight into Tyson's present physical state, especially considering his status as the youngest heavyweight boxing champion. Nonetheless, Rogan floated a potential tactic for Tyson to clinch a win, initiating relentless pressure on Paul from the opening bell. Rogan remarked on Mike's potential strength in the opening round, citing uncertainties about his endurance and physical shape. He noted a lack of insight into Mike's joints, back, and overall health. While speculation swirls around Mike Tyson's return, the outcome of the fight remains a mystery until July 20th.
He was a wild guy, man.
Genki was supposed to be my first fight in the UFC.
Remy Bonjowski.
Remy
Bonjowski.
Oh, he's not used to that.
Yeah, he got head kicked.
He said that's all right.
Well, Remy Bonjowski was amazing.
Yeah, he was.
And he fought. He had such an interesting style.
Crazy knees.
Yeah. Hey, man, we just lost Rob Kamen. Rob Kamen.
That
just
sucks.
died.
That really
That
sucks.
was hard.
Nice guy.
I worked out with that guy a lot.
Even amid doubts surrounding Tyson's physical prowess and stamina, Rogan pointed out that Tyson's assertive strategy right from the start might present a significant hurdle for Paul. Yet Rogan equally highlighted Paul's own skill set, illustrating how he could also prove to be a formidable opponent for Tyson.
As their boxing was not the best.
Right. If you could just stay in close.
Yeah.
I think Genki Sudo get Raymond Decker also. Raymond Decker got submitted.
I think he did. I think he did.
I remember him because I
Yes.
remember. I think Genki
I
got
think
him.
that was his only MMA fight.
I remember that guy because Longo used to always point that guy on. And be
That
like,
was-
this fucking guy. Fucking Longo loved him.
Decker's in his prime has the wildest highlight reel of any fighter ever.
people
He
up.
was an assassin. He had his ankle fused. His ankle had broken so many times that his doctor, he couldn't bend his ankle. And his doctor's like, look, if you keep kicking with that thing, we might have to remove it. Fuck you. Wrap it back up, kicking people too. He just, once we got in there, he just smashed. He kicked through everything. He kicked through your arms. He kicked through your elbows. Ramon Dekkers was a fucking machine, man. And he was a small guy. So he's fighting the elite Thais that were all his weight and just piecing people up.
He was mean too.
Oh,
Like,
he was ferocious.
Yeah, just
put
mean.
on.
In the bustling streets of New York City, TMZ Sports stumbled upon none other than the legendary pugilist, Oscar De La Hoya. Amidst the urban chaos, they seized the opportunity to delve into De La Hoya's thoughts on the looming clash between Iron Mike Tyson and the upstart Logan Paul. With a furrowed brow and a somber tone, De La Hoya voiced his apprehension, vowing to keep Tyson in his prayers out of genuine affection. Acknowledging Paul's unexpected prowess, he underscored the gravity of the impending bout, issuing a solemn plea for Tyson to tread carefully in the ring.
I'm gonna pray for Mike Tyson because I love Mike Tyson. Right. You know, I think Jake Paul, look, he's a real fighter. He really is. It's a dangerous fight. Mike Tyson, be careful, please.
Conversely, there are those who advise Jake to tread carefully, warning him of the formidable power wielded by Mike, a boxer often regarded as one of the most intimidating in the annals of the sport. During an interview, the reporter probed Oscar about the potential repercussions for Mike's legacy should Jake emerge victorious. Oscar asserted that Mike Tyson's place in history was already cemented, his legacy enduring. He emphasized his conviction that Mike Tyson would eternally be enshrined as a pivotal figure in boxing lore.
That's last. If Mike loses, could this potentially ruin his reputation?
No, Mike Tyson is cemented. Legacy forever.
So you think even with a loss? No, well, we're not saying it's a loss,
it's an
but we're saying
exhibition.
hypothetically,
Right.
if he loses, you're saying that he's going to get away scot-free. Everyone's going to just remember the old Mike, not this new.
Mike Tyson will be the man forever.
Amidst an electrifying aura, Monday's airing of Deep Waters on ProBox TV crackled with anticipation. Timothy Bradley Jr., Paulie Malignaggi, and Chris Algieri, distinguished ex-world champions, plunged into the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations nod to sanction the Tyson-Paul clash as a bona fide professional spectacle. Malignaggi assessed they want betting odds on it. If it's an exhibition, there are no odds on it. Following the Texas Commission's approval for Tyson-Paul, it's anticipated that both Netflix streams and AT&T Stadium ticket sales will skyrocket. Bradley couldn't contain his excitement, particularly leaning towards the seasoned 57-year-old contender over the YouTube sensation who's found success in the ring. Bradley said, "Mike Tyson, knock his ass out, baby. At first, I thought this was kind of crazy, but then I looked at the rules. Knockouts, and it's official. It can happen. 2 minutes is going to favor Mike Tyson. No doubt about it, guys." Bradley proposed a tactical approach, advocating for a lightning-fast strategy dubbed the rapid-fire round. In this plan, Tyson would unleash an onslaught of aggression in the opening 4 rounds, a trademark tactic of his. He vividly illustrated Tyson's relentless assault, envisioning him pinning Paul against the ropes, zeroing in on his midsection, and unleashing thunderous blows. Bradley instilled confidence in Tyson, affirming his belief in Tyson's knockout potential, emphasizing that raw power remains a formidable asset, impervious to the wear of time. Bradley added, 2-minute drill. Tyson comes out in the first 4 rounds like he's always blazing. Tyson gets Paul against the ropes, banging him to the body and hitting him with power shots. Come on, man. He has the potential to knock this man out. The power is the last thing to leave you. Malignaggi contemplates whether, amidst the passage of time, Tyson retains the fiery spirit and dynamic power that propelled him to the summit of heavyweight boxing in 1986 to 1990 and reclaimed it in 1996. Bradley asked, "Man, you haven't seen those videos of Tyson working out?" Malignaggi answered, "Those are from 5 years ago. This guy smokes weed and does mushrooms every day." Bradley responded, "This is Mike Tyson we're talking about." That prompted Algieri to chime in. "I'll show a video of Tyson running on a treadmill. I'll show you what kind of athleticism he has. It's not very good." It appears that Bradley wasn't having it. 2 minutes, man. That's all it takes to knock Disney boy the hell out, Bradley said of Paul. When told Paul is an early betting favorite, Bradley shouted, "Oh, hell no!" The designated name of the event triggered a whirlwind of feelings within Malignaggi. Memories flooded back, invoking his admiration for the icons of his youth. Among them were the indomitable Diego Maradona, Michael Jordan, the basketball virtuoso Wayne Gretzky, the maestro of hockey, the flamboyant wrestler Hulk Hogan, the enigmatic Mr. T from the A-Team, and the fearsome Tyson. Malignaggi said, "I can remember the Mike Tyson mystique of the late 80s. It's sad for me, bro. Not that he's doing this, because I'm happy anytime a guy can make money, but I can literally remember what it's like to wake up on the morning of a Mike Tyson fight and be like, whoa! Malignaggi voiced his apprehension, expressing a genuine reluctance to witness Tyson sustaining any injuries. He underscored Jake's underestimated prowess, highlighting his conviction that Jake presented a substantial danger. He added, "Now, I just don't want to see the guy get hurt. That's all I feel, because Jake is more dangerous than everybody's giving him credit for." Moreover, Malignaggi raises doubts about Paul's underlying motives, wondering what drives him to persist in this endeavor, despite the substantial effort he's poured into molding it into something genuine. His commitment extends to supporting champion boxer Amanda Serrano, fostering budding professional talents, and funding grassroots initiatives. In addition, Malignaggi said, "Jake's been trying to legitimize himself and getting a lot of blowback from the media and fans. I like Jake, but at the same time, I'm torn here, because he's the guy who wants boxing to accept him with open arms." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.